Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us today for our webinar on increasing your margin on Office 365. We'll highlight how simple it is to move your business, your 365 business, to Cobweb. I'm Louisa, Channel Business Manager of Cobweb. I've been at Cobweb for 8 years and will have worked with probably many of you. We also have Craig talking today, who will be the main presenter. He's our Managed Infrastructure as a consultant. So just to go through the agenda with you, we'll keep this very brief today. Should run through all of the slides in about 20 minutes for you today. What we want to do is obviously go through a brief introduction of where we're headed for the channel, talk about the CSP opportunity, and Craig will run through the features and requirements for the CSP programme and how this can actually benefit you. The automation and management platform, this covers our control panel, which I'm sure you're all used to using, and the CSP switch. So the simple process that will take you through the steps of switching over to CSP, and hopefully this will show you how simple the whole process is. Then we'll go through the next steps and take you through and answer any questions that we have from the audience. So before we get started, I'll run through some housekeeping. So before we get started, I'll just run through some housekeeping with you. You'll see the menu bar is to the right of your screen. If you have any questions, please type them into the chat box at the bottom of the menu. If you want to hide the menu so you can fully see the screen, please click the orange button at the top. This webinar will be recorded and an email will be sent out to everybody after the webinar with the recording, so don't worry if you miss anything. Apologies for the slow movement of the slides. It seems to be quite delayed, so hopefully as we get going that will speed up a little bit. So like the industry that we're in, Cobweb is changing again, and we're going to be moving to being more predominantly channel focused, which is great news for all of us. The plan is that we'll be providing you with a greater breadth of services. So Craig will now take over and show you what some of these changes look like.
Thanks, Louisa, and apologies if you could hear us at the start of this, guys. Obviously a little bit of nerves before we started this webinar, but don't worry. Okay, so Cobweb's changing, as Louisa just said. We're changing really across three main areas, and there's three things I'd like to introduce to you on this webinar today, which is the Smart Ecosystem, Cobweb Connect, and Cobweb Cloud Accelerator. I'll just explain a little bit about these three areas. So the Smart Ecosystem is an active community of vendors and partners sourcing new capabilities, providing complementary cloud and professional services, and obviously built on an enablement platform and automation tools. You know it all as the Cobweb control panel today, but this helping you with customer lifecycle management. So we've got some additional tools and products that can help with that as well. You'll see more about these coming up over the next few months from us. We've got Cobweb Connect, which is a communications and networking hub providing industry news and trends channel, Cobweb and vendor channels, and cross and upsell discovery. And then we have Cobweb Cloud Accelerate, ready to go marketing programs in here, pre and post sales support, training workshops and advisory boards are available on here. Again, this is all new stuff that you haven't seen just yet, but just some of the areas that we're working in over the next few months to make us, to help you sell more and be more profitable. Okay, so today we're focusing on the Smart Ecosystem element of that, and this slide here just indicates some of the partners today we're working with, and some of the vendors, sorry, we're working with to support this ecosystem. You can see at the top the strategic partners. I'm sure you all heard of most of them, if not all of them. Microsoft obviously being the main focal one for today's session on Office 365. It's obviously a portfolio of services from them. And in particular, we're going to be talking about the CSP program as well, and what that means to you. And there's probably some vendors on here that you're not aware of. And again, there's some services we use in here, which we'll be launching out over the next few months. So the program we're talking about, licensing program we're talking about, is CSP. And we're not going to dwell too much on this, but this slide here explains what CSP is. In simple terms, think of this as being, it's a cloud solution provider program, sorry, that's what the CSP stands for. And think of this as being like the cloud version of the LSP or LAR programs from Microsoft, where it enables us to provide cloud services through to you, our resellers, who can then take those services, add some additional value, and add them on to your customers. But I think the key difference here from what you're potentially experiencing today, if you already deal with Office 365, is around the fact that you provide the billing and support. You own the customer relationship, and again, as you do today, so similar to the other services you purchase from Cobweb. And it gives you the opportunity of providing value-added services around the Microsoft 365 portfolio stack. So a simple example of that would be our advanced email encryption product and/or some of the antivirus and anti-spam solutions that are available. And some things to point out as well, what's happening within this CSP program is lots of additional products and services are already included and are going to be added in the foreseeable future. There's a lot of focus from Microsoft on this program, and we believe it's, and we've been told from Microsoft as well, it's their preferred route to market, certainly for organisations up to and around 500 seats. What does that mean for you? So in simple terms, traditional people were selling 365 on the advisor schemes. We believe, again, this is through our research to our existing partners, around 3 to 4% margin. Instantly from Cobweb, we have you the ability to go straight away onto 10% margin, and in some cases up to even 15% margin for these services. It allows you to integrate your own services. As I said on the previous slides, there's some value-add services on top because you own the billing and support relationship to the customer. It gives you the ability to access our billing as a service platform, offering, which I'll explain about briefly in a moment. Obviously, that therefore allows you to control the pricing, the service level agreements, and obviously your own service level agreement, on top of Microsoft's and Cobweb's, and enables you to manage your customers in the way that you choose to manage them. And there's plenty of upsell and cross-sell opportunities using the Cobweb ecosystem. Like I said, these products are being added to on a monthly basis. Example of one of the value adds here is the profit tuner for CSP. So this really applies to, and this is what we're able to do today. So this applies to your existing Office 365 clients who are paying monthly and new customers looking to purchase Office 365 licenses. Like I said, it's not exclusive to 365, it's for all services from the Microsoft Cloud, but at the moment we're focusing on the 365 element. And it allows easy transfer of your existing customers into the CSP model without any disruption in service onto the automated billing platform, which you already use, and with seamless experience for the customer from sale through to bill. So in simple terms, we can move your existing customers and you can make more money and add additional services and value onto that mix. Excellent. So what Cobweb are focusing on here is making the complexity of these moves, like I said, seamless for you. So one thing that, again, is probably not relevant for the audience that we've got on today. We're aware of, I think all of the customers on it have been, all of the resellers, sorry, on the webinar have been with Cobweb for some time. But an example of one of the services we are doing for some of our new partners and for some of our existing partners is the Cobweb Billing as a Service platform. Again, this is where you're able to take advantage of the 15 plus years that Cobweb have in managing cloud services for our customers and through our reseller community and partners. So take advantage of our automating billing, collection, payment gateways and branding systems. Now, for some people venturing into the cloud for the first time, this is a very complex task, and I'm sure that some of you already spend quite a lot of time reconciling bills. We do have a variety of services within our billing as a service offering, where we can help you. So if you are interested in this, just get in contact with Louisa or myself afterwards, and we can set up a call with the product owner of this service, and you can have a discussion, see if there's areas where we can help reduce those costs for you as well. More importantly now, onto the CSP switching process. So this, as it says on the slide, is for your existing Office 365 customers who are on your advisor models, that kind of stuff. And I will say you don't lose anything by bringing these partners over to the CSP program. So you still have the listed as the partner against the customer, so we can still see how many seats you have, or Microsoft can still sort of see these. So it's not that you disappear. You're still the reseller for the customer. It is, Cobweb's just inserted in, if you like, in between yourselves and Microsoft. So I'm just going to go through the process of that now. So what we've done is try and make this process as simple as possible. There's a few tasks to go through, but the easiest way of explaining that is we've built these 3 stages. So we've got a check, buy, and sync process. Now you can apply this process to existing customers and also customers if you're not sure they're a 365 client. And again, there's examples here where organisations such as BT have a syndication plan. They may be using Office 365 for their client. You might not know that when you're first engaging with the customer. So we'd still encourage you to go through this simple 3-stage process. So the first stage is check, and these are the tasks within that stage. So as previously just mentioned, check the customer has Office 365 subscription. You can then contact us for a CSP invite. It's basically just a link that we can email across to the account administrator in the 365 tenant. The customer would then click on that link, and in most cases we'll be able to accept that invitation, and at which point we can then see that tenant in 365. We've not changed any billing at this stage, we can just see them. What that enables us to do is have a look at their account, see what services they have, and confirm whether or not a simple switch is possible. Stage 2 is buy. So once we've confirmed whether or not move is possible, we may at this stage need to advise you if some form of professional services or migration services are needed. If not, we'll send you an order form. We do need your Microsoft Partner Network ID for this. If those of you on the webinar, if you don't have a Microsoft Partner Network ID, again, get in contact with myself and Louisa afterwards and we can talk you through that process. It's very simple. But I believe most of you, if not all, are definitely Microsoft partners, so you should be okay. But once we have your Microsoft Partner Network ID, we confirm that we can move the customer. We then purchase the new CSP licenses for you. And this is just us helping you with your first few customers. You can do this all yourselves afterwards, don't worry. So we'll purchase the new CSP licenses, and then we move on to stage 3, which is then the synchronisation stage. And here, so we've got the new licenses, the customer's still got their legacy licenses. What we mean by synchronise is we then basically downgrade the legacy licenses and use the new licenses purchased under CSP, which we'll be billing you for, and apply them to the customers or the clients, the users, and as such in the account. And we downgrade, it's quite important at this stage actually, we downgrade those licenses down to 1 per subscription. So you're remaining 1 license in each subscription. And I should point out at this point, some customers may have more than 1 subscription. We've seen even small customers, for example, 10, 20 user type organizations have 3 or 4 subscriptions. We'll know this before when we've done the check stage. But at this point, we leave 1 in each of the subscriptions. And then once we've moved all the CSP licenses to the right people, we then confirm everything's waiting. And then yourselves or the end client will then arrange for the final licenses to be cancelled with Microsoft. And again, it's quite a simple process. We've gone through this a few times. And about 10 minutes phone call with the Microsoft team. They're very good at picking up the phones. We found they answer the phone within sort of 5 to 10 rings, for example. And then you just cancel off that last license. And then after that, that's the end. You're now enjoying additional margin from providing Office 365 licenses from Cobweb under our CSP program to your customers. And that's it. It's very simple. The next stage is just reach out, contact either myself or Louisa. Contact details are on the screen now as well, where we can talk you through and help you enjoy additional margin from 365 through Cobweb. I'm now going to open it up for any questions and answers. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions come in. I'll read out the question and then Craig can go through the response. The first question that we have is around the client invite that goes out. Somebody's asking how that comes across, if it's got what names it's got on it, the details of the businesses.
Cool, yeah, I can pick that one up. So at the moment, the invite will be sent out. It'll have Cobweb's name on that invite, and that will be sent to the administrator of the client. So one of our partners at the moment has changed their administrator to be actually someone from their business, just to hide that piece from the customer at that point. But it'll be Cobweb's name on that. It can't be changed at the moment. So that will be Cobweb as the CSP. Again, similar to the LAR and LSP schemes, if you've moved enterprise agreements before or select agreements, it will look like that.
Okay, we have another question. Dwayne Smith asks, what is the price per user per month?
Okay, that's a very difficult one. So the 365 portfolio is a vast portfolio of services. So the prices start from list prices from around £1.30 for some of the mail-only kiosk SKUs. But certainly the plans that we would encourage our resellers to focus on, and the most popular plans, will be the Business Premium and the Enterprise SKUs, where you can take advantage of some of the additional security and features of the enterprise licensing. And even for small businesses, we've seen a massive uptake or interest level in some of those additional features, for example, in-place archive. But yeah, the price per SKU, I'll need to send you a price book to give you the full answer. I'll take that away. And
we have another question as well from Martin Clark, again around the prices. I think really what we want to highlight is the fact that the 365 prices, the price that goes out to your customer, is effectively the Microsoft retail price, and absolutely we can send those over to you and you can find them anywhere on the Microsoft website. But what we can do through the CSP program is offer you between 10 and up to 15% ongoing commission on all of those services. So we can discuss that with you offline. Then we've got a couple more questions. I'm just waiting for them to come through.
There's 2 seconds. So we've got a question about benefits as well here, from the differences, or benefits between Office 365 and the Cobweb mail platform. There are quite a few if we go into the intricate technical details, but the main ones to consider at the moment, if the client's got a requirement for the data to be held in the UK, then we'd probably focus them initially onto the Cobweb mail platform. But in most other circumstances, we'd push them through to the 365 platform, as long as the data being held in the EU. Again, we can point you to the Trust Center, Microsoft Trust Center here. Very useful link with lots of useful legal documentation for anyone who's uncomfortable with that. It is certainly something that we're seeing, for example, around 70 to 80% of our new business now really pushing towards the 365 platform rather than the Cobweb one. But Cobweb mainly focused on the finance industry, healthcare, central government, those kind of sectors.
We also have a question come across about the billing, how the billing change will actually go ahead, when the partner would effectively take over from the billing.
Excellent. Yeah. So that's when we go past the stage 2, if you like. So as soon as we purchase the new CSP licenses, so we've already done the checks, we know what we can move, what we can't move, and at that point we'll send out, that'll be an order form initially for the first few for yourselves, just so you get used to the process. We send out that form, you sign that, we then allocate the bills into that account. So you would at that point take over the billing, and then you would need to synchronise the existing bills on that account and downgrade those bills to stop the end customer paying both bills. If that makes sense. So in between purchasing and synchronisation and downgrade, that all needs to happen in the same day, because otherwise you'll end up, the customer will continue to be pay Microsoft directly for those licenses, and also we would be billing you for the new CSP licenses. So we do it all at the same time, basically. For the first few customers, I'd suggest we schedule in these and we do it all on a webinar or live chat type sessions as well.
We have one more question. If for some reason we or clients weren't happy with the service, how difficult would it be to move to another provider?
That's very easy. It's very simple. Literally very simple. This is point and click type stuff. The main purpose of this CSP program is to benefit the end client in the fact that they can choose their managed service provider, such as yourselves or their reseller, and the same for yourselves. It allows you to move across CSP. So this is a massive benefit. We see this as a massive benefit. And again, a little bit of a challenge with Odin, our control panel. Some of you may be aware of in the past of us not being able to move customers between resellers. That complexity for yourselves has gone away. So we can easily move over to other CSP partners. In fact, we've already got a reseller who buys from Cobweb under CSP, and they've also chosen to buy from another CSP partner as well.
I think that's it for the questions. Obviously, if anybody has anything else, then get hold of us with the contact details that are on the screen at the moment. As we said at the beginning, as long as the recording worked, technical difficulties aside, we will get a copy of the webinar over to you. At least we'll send over the slides so we can go through that. Any questions that you have, we can do it at one-to-one. And as Craig said, for the first 1 or 2, it's best if we do it step by step, make sure that the process runs through really smoothly. If there's no more questions, then we will say goodbye for now, and we'll catch up with everybody offline later on.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.